Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey.
And I'm Holly.
And Mazda was gracious enough to fly both of us to sunny California, Palm Springs, California, to test not one, but two different variants of the new premium two-row SUV from the brand in the new Mazda CX-70. What are these two things like? Stay tuned to find out. All right, Gearheads, huge thanks to Mazda for flying both of us out to beautiful Palm Springs, California to get to experience these two vehicles. Right next to me, we have the Inline 6 version, and over next to Holly, we have the plug-in hybrid version. Both of these ride on a very familiar platform if you've followed Mazda or the channel for any length of time. Yes, it's a two-row CX-90, but right now, while we're outside of them, we're going to show you some of the key distinguishing, easy for me to say, features for you to pick out the difference between a 70 and a 90. What stands out to you with your white 70, Holly? And I'll actually go get the camera to come in close.
Sure. Well, if you've noticed, the body style is very, very similar to the CX-90. However, there are some key differences that give it just a little bit of a sportier look. And that's one of the things is all of these black accents that you have here on the front, a refreshed grille area up here at the front. You also have some black areas right here where the air inlet is.
Yes.
That's different. That gives it that sportier feel here in the front. And then I wanted to show you on the white one because you can see a lot more clear the black accents all the way down, like here, and you've got this, and then you've got the black handles that give it that sleek, luxury, sportier type look here to the CX-70. Something else I really like is this updated wheel design here that's got the chrome and then those black accents as well, which is super fun.
Yeah, so we did not plan the black and white coordination here, but we absolutely are spot on with these two vehicles here. But yes, I did want to show you the two differences. This white one really helps accentuate the black accents up front and all the way around. This is the PHEV model. We'll talk more about driving impressions a little bit later in the video. And this is the Inline 6 version. But yes, as you can see from the looks of it, they do ride on the exact same body as the 90, but as Holly pointed out, black accents versus all of the chrome on the 90 here on the 70, especially on this blacked out version right here. Very, very different looking, much more menacing here on the CX-70. Ultimate challenge for you here. We're gonna review while going down windy mountain roads. Just ignore the, costume change mid-episode here, but we are in level setting for y'all the plug-in hybrid variant of the CX-70 with the Merlot red interior, and Holly is behind the wheel. We are on the Palms to Pines highway in California, and we are literally going down a mountain pass right now, where we really get to test out how this thing drives and handles. What are your thoughts behind the wheel?
Well, it's super easy to drive. I like having this tighter steering wheel. It feels tight and secure making these curves, but not heavy, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yep.
So Little Birdie told us that they have tweaked and updated the steering for CX-70, but that is really the only main difference. Powertrain, ride, suspension, all that between 90 and 70. Really the big story is the space back there in the back. This is a little bit lighter than 90, so they have tuned the suspension to compensate for that. And yes, updated steering may or may not be coming to 90 soon, so stay tuned for that. But yes, as we are carving these corners, these windy mountain roads, definitely does not feel like a big SUV, especially riding over here in the passenger seat. I don't feel like we're swaying back and forth. I've been on windy roads as a passenger like this before, and I've been praying for Dramamine. But you and the car are making it a very nice, pleasant experience. Any other thoughts behind the wheel there? Powertrain, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's got some get up and go, and we did use all of our electric power on the way up.
Yes.
However, on the way back down, I am almost half a battery. I was going to say half a tank, but I guess it's not a tank.
Battery. Yeah. So this does have regenerative braking on it, which also, I'm assuming, I haven't got to experience it yet, is helping you go down the hill.
Oh yeah, I haven't had to like lay on the brakes. As I just kind of like, and that's one of their, I mean, it's always a personal challenge to have great fuel efficiency and battery efficiency when I drive a car. And so I've mostly just like given it gas a little bit and just kind of like glided along. I haven't had to use the brake very much at all.
So the PHEV really is the secret sauce if you're in these kind of climates. It's like a built-in downhill descent control, and in the process, you're giving yourself more range when you get down to the base of the mountain. Yeah, going up the hill, it chewed through that electricity, but within my drive here, you can actually select different drive modes: sport, off-road, normal, and EV. So if you're not an EV, it's not exclusively trying to use all that electric power first, because you do have over 20 miles of all electric range for if you're commuting, doing stuff like that.
Sure.
So that's a nice touch. But yeah, you're in sport now. There's also normal and off-road.
You actually used the off-road mode in the sand though while we were here.
Yes, so we pulled off for some photos, got some stellar photos of the Zircon Sand model that we got to sample. And yes, we absolutely were able to get out of very deep, loose sand using...
I was a little worried, but it got us out pretty well.
So again, all CX-70s, like all CX-90s, are all-wheel drive. They are rear drive biased, but depending on what the situation calls for, what drive mode you're in, you get different tuning to that. And obviously in sport right now, it is trying to get maximum torque to the road for you to set off.
Yeah, and speaking of the electric power, I haven't noticed driving it at all of these miles that we've driven, it turning on and off. So
yeah, so
that's
very
nice.
Seamless transition between gas and electricity in this one. Now, even the straight 6-cylinder that we will test later for you in this video, it too is a mild hybrid system with a battery electric motor in between the gas engine and transmission. But yeah, here in this PHEV, especially going down these hills, I am impressed. When I first looked over there, it was on E. You are almost
completely on
half
E.
a tank of battery power in this PHEV going down the hills. So that's very nice. And I am, again, assuming on my part that it has made it a little more confidence inspiring. Yes, no, maybe so?
For me? For driving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not having to ride the brakes. You're not...
No, I was a little, I mean, we don't have these windy roads where we're from. So I was a little nervous about driving on, but no, now after I've been behind the wheel, I feel confident driving it.
Can I have a little turn, please?
Sure. Oh, driving?
Yeah.
No. I guess so.
Why did they use the same body for a 70 and a 90? What is the big difference between these two vehicles?
Well, the big difference is that the 90 has 3 rows and this one has 2 rows. But along with that, they're targeting a little bit different of an audience between the two SUVs here. And the big difference is maybe the 90 fits a family with several kids with that 3-row, with those 3 rows. And this one fits with the 2 rows, maybe, you know, like an adventurous, a little bit of an older kids family, you
More
know, a
active
couple,
lifestyle.
yeah, and more active lifestyle, as you can see by this tent that they have displayed, which I think is just super fun. So you have the optional roof
Roof rails.
racks, yeah, roof rails up there, and then this tent connects to that, so you can, you know, at a camp out or whatever, have your chair sitting under there, stay in the shade, just showcasing that this is a little bit more for somebody with an active adventure type lifestyle.
God bless them for the shade. It's dry heat out here, so 20 degrees difference here versus out here. But you talked about the 2 rows versus 3 rows. Let's hop back to the back and show you exactly what that means for packing stuff back in the back. We've moved back to the back to talk about the big difference between these 2 vehicles. And wouldn't you know it, they've got it all loaded up for us already, showing just how much stuff that I now get to unload from the back of this vehicle, because it is quite a bit here in the back of the CX-70.
Yeah, so probably the biggest difference, and the thing that I think is going to appeal to a lot of people, not only over the CX-90, but some of its competition, is the way that Mazda has used its space in such a thoughtful way that you can load a lot of equipment and pretty much anything you need into this car, into the back. It's a huge back space.
Tons of space back here. They did bring out some competitive vehicles that they've been seeking and benchmarking this against. BMW X5, Lexus RX, Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Grand Cherokee.
Not the L though. And just showing us the difference in cargo capacity back here. But I'm going to go grab the camera so that you can show the real trick feature of the 70 versus the 90.
I mean, and you even mentioned, and we both did, when we saw the space in the back compared to some of those competitors, we just thought it was big until we saw this and how they've utilized the space. This is well, first of all, it's huge back here. This is probably my favorite feature of all, is that the back comes up and it's not just your tire. Of course, you do have your spare tire bits and things like that.
Tires under here.
The tires under here, but you have this space that you can fit all kinds of equipment back there, or, you know, this can hold your dirty shoes, camping equipment, you know, sporting equipment, really whatever you wanted.
Again, active lifestyle, right?
Active lifestyle. And then straight back here, as you're loading things in, you can lower the
It released them, but we're on a little bit of a hill. So push it again. Push it again.
There we go.
Push the other one. There we go. Yes, we're on a little bit of a hill going upwards. But yes, you can remote release both the left and right side of that 60-40 split.
Which is great, because we've complained before in cars that we're back here loading and you have to stop, go all the way around, take the seats down, and then come back and start loading. Not so in the Mazda CX-70. One other little cubby, and I'm a sucker for cubbies, is hidden little storage areas. There's another little spot right back here, once you lay these down, that it's easy to access for some things that you need in the car, maybe a first aid kit, something like that, that you don't need access to all the time, but you can keep it right here.
Yeah, the best way to get back here is really by folding these seats down and reaching back here. So yeah, first aid kit, umbrella, stuff like that. But 60-40 split bench seat, very easy to get to, and then you can
easy to pop on back up.
Right up and get those back into place. And then one last thing I want to show is you can come down here and slide these seats forward and get to them that way as well. So if you did have a child seat in place like we would with Tucker riding right here, you can still slide that forward and get to that seat, the rear storage back there, and then slide the seat back and you're good to go. So that is a very nice touch, a little bit of extra storage back here in the CX-70 that you do not get in the CX-90, you know, because seats and people and stuff. But that is enough tour of them. Let's hop behind the wheel and see how these two vehicles drive. Quick driver change at a very scenic stop along our way. But now we get to continue down the mountain, and I may ruin all your battery savings. I may get to reap the rewards.
You probably will.
All your battery savings. But I get to talk about my impressions going down the hill. We can talk about what it's like riding over there for you. There's a lot of body roll, stuff like that. I can say confidently from driving up this mountain that I really like what Mazda has done with the steering, with the suspension. It has worked for me. It appeals to me, and I'm not gonna spill the beans too much, but maybe if you weren't with me, I would have been driven a whole lot faster and come up with a speeding ticket, because this is a very fun road.
I think you probably would have too, and you better be glad you didn't do it.
Yes, yes. I'm very glad to have you here with me, making these memories, seeing all these places. But yes, the powertrain in this is good. It's fun. It's peppy, especially if you've got some battery left over or regenerated.
You're welcome.
Thanks to your lovely wife, or just going down these mountain hills. I can tell you that yes, that regenerative braking does kind of work as a speed check. You're not just going to go careening down these mountain passes. It's kind of keeping us in check as we go down. So I really like that. The steering, as we talked about, is tighter. It is firm, like a sporty racing steering wheel. It doesn't feel loosey-goosey. We've been in some big 2- and 3-row SUVs that it feels like you're sawing at a log or something, just trying to find on center. That's not, this communicates very well. Yeah. Where your wheels are pointed, it's not so light that going down these windy trails and roads that if we miss a turn, we're down a mountain.
Yeah.
All of that, it works well. This is a very, very good test bed for this type of vehicle. And oh, Mazda, if you had the MX-5, please, could I try it here? That would be so much fun. So as we were coming up this mountain, now going down this mountain, as you are on the passenger side, and I find the rumble strip on the yellow line in the middle, what are your thoughts as far as like body roll and things like that, riding in the passenger seat?
Yeah, I'm pretty sensitive to car sickness.
Yeah.
In general, but no, it felt like a very smooth ride coming up here. I didn't feel a lot of body roll or back and forth or floating along like we have in some. It's very, very sturdy and steady going through all of these curves.
And then look at the view. My goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty.
If you miss a turn here, you in trouble. They ain't hearing from you again.
Eh?
You done for. And Mazda just said, here are the keys. Enjoy.
Okay.
Take our zoom zoom. That really is enough of the PHEV. We also got to sample the Inline 6 in that zircon sand. I may have even gotten to test off-road mode in some deep, very loose sand. We are in a Turbo S Inline 6 mild hybrid. Power numbers down below, but I want to get your thoughts on the interior in here.
It's super fancy in here. I was a little impressed, a little shocked, a little surprised, a little taken aback.
Okay.
Not that Mazdas aren't nice, I was just really surprised. Didn't know what to expect.
It is a very welcoming interior that feels very familiar.
For sure.
Because this is essentially CX-90. From what we can see, this is CX-90. This is the top trim. We get the dual tone. I really like the peanut butter and a dark contrast here. Really nice interior.
I would say it's a little bit too much peanut butter.
Yeah.
But
suede.
Suede right here, suede on the seat.
Yeah. That are ventilated, which is very nice because we're in the desert right now.
Yeah.
But we are on about an 8-mile stretch of road here, but some things I can talk about while I'm behind the wheel is the fully digital gauge cluster on this. Mazda has finally joined the all digital crowd. You can see I've got 3 gauge pods right here on the screen right now. But if I hit my lane keeping, lane centering, you can see that changes to focus on the driver attention, driver safety and assistance screen right there. I've got all that information on my head-up display up here, but gives it a little different look to the gauge cluster behind the steering wheel. Other things that we can talk about, we're riding on different wheels, similar tires. We're on textured pavement here, getting a little bit of road noise in here, but otherwise it is a very quiet cabin.
Well, one thing I'm surprised about,
yes,
is they've been so thoughtful with how they utilize their space and cubby holes in the back. But not really up here, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't quite translate. We had the same issue.
I was thinking, oh, where's the secret hiding place here? But nope, it's just a little
we
shallow.
had similar issues with 90 again. Very similar to 90 in here. Same with the glove box. It does good, not great up here.
Yeah, you have the dual thing. It is damped.
Yeah.
So, and I like that the door doesn't just like slam down. Oh, that's damped?
That's damped.
I thought the belt lining was damped. Damped it. Okay, well, it's velvet lined and damped. And then you've got a cup holder on the side and just some regular space. I think, I don't know what's under here, so I don't know, but it would be nice to have the under storage right there. It feels like it's big enough to have that space.
So all of the CX-70s are all-wheel drive and are rear biased all-wheel drive, so I'm guessing Powertrain is taking up this area here, just the way that they've packaged this particular vehicle. So we're getting on some little bunny hops through the desert here.
How does that feel?
Roller coaster like. What does it feel like to you over there in the passenger seat?
Well, other than looking at the road, I mean, you really can't tell that you're.
Yeah, so
it feels very smooth.
This is very well tuned for the road, even here in sport mode. Very interesting. Other vehicles in this class have a few more drive modes besides normal, sport, and off-road. But here, the zoom mentality wins out. Sport, off-road, normal.
Sure, and I am very sensitive to movements on the road.
Yeah.
Car sickness-wise. Pretty nice.
This is like the quintessential driving through the desert scene right here. So yeah, after spending some time going up and down the roller coaster hills, I can say suspension is doing a lot, especially as they came quicker, not to keep us floating over everything. I much appreciate the sport-tuned suspension in this for not making us feel seasick.
Yeah.
All right, as we turn on this road, long straightaway ahead. Let's see, nobody behind us. We're gonna do a quick acceleration run. You ready?
I'm ready.
So we're in sport mode, coming to a full stop. Gonna full brake, full gas, and dump the brake.
What do you think?
I mean, it's a bigger vehicle. It's not as exciting as I thought it would be. I did feel the hybrid system working. Felt like it was trying to figure out exactly what I wanted it to do when I let off the brake. But nice, smooth, consistent power.
Sure. Yes.
It wasn't like,
it didn't jerk you.
Wasn't quite what I expected.
Womp womp.
I think it likes just going better than doing a brake boost.
Because that definitely felt more power than when you were from a dead stop.
Yeah. Swapping over with you, I see what you mean about storage places. Like, I don't know what to do with my phone and my things. There's a Qi wireless charger up there, but you're already using it. I can put it in the shallow center console, but
because it's empty.
Yeah, there's like no grab handle over here. There's a pistol grip handle, but no pocket. Yeah, little light on the storage
up here.
in here. But we've already talked about interior. I want to know what your thoughts are driving this thing. How's the steering wheel?
It's a little tight.
Yeah.
I mean, not too tight. It doesn't feel like you're turning a big truck or something like that,
Right.
but it is tighter than your average steering wheel.
Sport-tuned steering on this one. Again, I alluded to it earlier. This one does have a slightly different steering feel than the CX-90. We'll just leave it at that. But how is it piloting this beast? Does it feel too heavy? Does it feel too sluggish?
Do you feel like this is a beast?
I mean, it's a big
I guess it is
three-row
a big-
vehicle.
Well, it's not 3 rows.
I know, air quotes.
Yeah, I guess it is. But no, it does not feel like I'm driving a boat. It feels very smooth and easy.
Does it feel sluggish?
Doesn't feel sluggish.
Why don't you give us a quick little, go ahead and put you in. Oh, look at you go. Yeah. So, sport tuned, not only suspension and steering, but we'll drop it into sport mode, and the transmission is eager and ready. This is a mild hybrid. We talked about it a little off camera, but again, really makes it indistinguishable when the engine is off versus running on electric power, versus like when you're stopped at a light, the AC keeps working. That's the best part, right?
Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah, and I'm pretty sensitive to the engine coming on and off. It gets on my nerves. But this one I haven't noticed at all.
Yep.
I have to drive weird because of the sun.
Yeah, now we are driving into the sun in the desert, which I guess is a good swapping point to our next trim and the PHEV. And back to the PHEV. Huge thanks to Mazda for flying us out to this very scenic view. Oh my goodness. In Southern California, and getting to sample their new CX-70. If you want to see more from this, I know this is kind of a speed date of the car for us. Hit that subscribe button down below, ring the bell so you're notified anytime a future video drops from us. You can find more stuff from Holly, some behind the scenes, some of her thoughts on this trip on Instagram and Facebook at Female Consumer. You can find all these GT Garage Talk at GT Garage Talk, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it, all at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for us, we're going to continue down this mountain pass, and yeah, go check out some of our other videos, including taking the CX-90 down the windiest road in America. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it, babe?
That was.
Till next time, gearheads.